A very good evening to you all. So, respected Shri Natanagopal, so the chapter co-chair Shamila, and learning vertical Prasannan and Pandivel, so they couldn't be here due to unavoidable circumstances. The respected members of YA Madurai and the SB Live followers and friends, a very good evening to you all once again. So budget 2022, so impact on MSMEs. This is what we were thinking about. February first week is usually the time where the entire nation looks upon for the union budget and all the deliberation keeps going. And I'm sure no better person than Shri Natanagopal can enlighten about whatever is suitable and whatever is the pros and cons of MSMEs. I'm sure he's done a couple of more events prior to this in the last 1 week or 10 days. And we are very happy to have him in YA Madurai. And once again, I take the privilege of welcoming you all for this an hour session on the enlightenment on budget 2022. And certain good things about always, we happened to meet Shri Natanagopal in Madurai College exactly a month before, or slightly more than that, 2 months before. Such a good, great personality, a man of discipline, and we still remember, Shamila, myself, we were walking through the entire Madurai College campus and we saw the fantastic 2 acres of the Mayavaki forestation and what all the passion, sir being the secretary and in the core management committee of the century-old Madurai College. So fantastic things are happening there, and we got the opportunity to sign the Yuva, and our Yuva vertical is more inclined, and we are looking forward to much events there, including job fair and many other things in the upcoming months. And I'm sure after Take Pride in February end, we'll be more active in Yuva in their college as well. So with this brief introduction, I take the opportunity to welcome you all to this budget session, and I invite our Talir co-chair Rajesh Bansal to give a wonderful introduction about the detailed introduction about Shri Natanagopal, and then sir will speak and we can have the Q&A. With the closing remarks, we can call it a happy learning day. Thank you for the opportunity and welcome once again, Jai Hind.
Thank you, Sargun. Good evening, one and all. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Mr. S. Natanagopal, FCA. He is a chemistry graduate from Madurai College. He is senior partner of the chartered accountancy firm Mrs. Ganesh Prasad. The firm has office at Madurai, Chennai, Coimbatore, Hyderabad, and Mumbai. He was the secretary of Madurai branch of Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants of India during 1985 to 87 and was the chairman during 1987 to 88. He was an elected member of Southern Indian Regional Council of the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants of India during 1988 to 91. He is a consultant on financial structuring, management information systems for various corporate houses, system design and development for software companies. He has been actively involved in developing software in logistics, web-enabled solutions, and ingenious ERP solutions for industrial applications. He has specialized in financial structuring for large, medium, and small enterprises from banks, financial institutions, angel investment, brand capital investment, private equity, and placements. As a chartered accountant, he presents paper in seminar of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, CII, Chamber of Commerce, trade bodies, and cooperative institutions, and conduct trainings on financial and investment related subjects in various forums. He travels in India and across the globe on professional assignments for large companies. He conducts workshops and seminars for company executives and managers on financial and statutory compliance topics and is retained by many business houses as a resource person. He is director of Madurai College Board and presently serving as the secretary of College Board. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Mr. S. Natanagopal, our speaker for tonight.
Beloved friends, we are starting a little late and I don't want to go into the pleasantries. I first thank Mr. Rajesh for introducing me, and I had occasion to meet Mr. Sevagan and Madam in our college, and we have been keen to have the programs of YA at the college once the college starts functioning from 21st of February. Hope this year it's going to be more productive and fruitful to everyone. The topic of the day is Budget 2022, Impact on MSMEs. When you talk of impact, I was going through your the YA 2021 report. I had a flash that what can be an impact. I had an answer in your last page. You have been in Madurai from 2014, and now we have about 58 stakeholders, and we have an impact of 7,19,250 in the last 1 year by various activities. So the impact doesn't happen in one day or by one event, excepting for certain events like a big earthquake or huge floods, something of that which has a national calamity. For example, even the impact of COVID, it can't be called as a one-time impact, it's a sustained impact. Similarly, in economics also, the impact is felt over a period of time. So the topic possibly is because of the budget which happens year on year, we think of impact on specific sectors. But I would like to rephrase the term as what is the continuous process for MSME over a period of time. So with that background, I would like to just take you through what is the significance of a budget. The budget is like a blueprint from the revenue and expenditure for any government. Especially in India, Article 112 of the Constitution gives us the power for the government to prepare a budget. The budget will be in the form of a revenue budget and capital budget. All of you must be doing your revenue budget for your business, and also if you are going for some machineries purchase or construction, you call it as a capital budget. The same thing happens in the government budget. The first budget was presented on 7th April 1860 by Mr. James Wilson, presented to the Queen of United Kingdom, and which got approved. The independent India's first budget was presented by Mr. R.K. Shanmugam Chetty, who got elected from Tamil Nadu in the year 1947, November 26, just for academic aspect. Now going into the budget of current year, I am not able to very clearly see the figures. If you see you should realize that what is the impact of a national budget with the financial perspective. The budget allocation estimated revenue the government expects from tax revenue is about 27,57,000 crores. The revenue for last year 2021 was 20 lakhs, and for 21-22 is 25,16,000 crores. And they have state share of 8,21,000 crores. So the net tax revenue is 18 lakhs crores. This 18 lakhs crores is from what? From taxation, direct taxation and indirect taxation. Direct taxation is about 7 lakh crores, indirect taxation is about 12 lakh crores. This is the money. Then the balance will be in the form of borrowings. Now with that, the government has to spend. How are they going to spend? The government salary itself is about 6,52,000 crores. They pay to the central government employees across all departments. Then schemes and various schemes are announced. Various ministries announce various schemes. Swachh Bharat is one scheme. Like that, there are various schemes. Like when they give money for the Madurai Corporation for smart city, that is a scheme. Like that, the allocation for the scheme is 11,81,000 crores. And central government transfers money to the state government, and that is again a major contribution. So I am not able to see the figures very clearly from here. So anyway, these are all I am going to leave with you. So the total expenses of the government is going to be 39 lakh thousand crores. 39 lakh crores on expenditure, revenue expenditure. That means within 12 months they would be spending this much. So what is within 12 months, what do they plan to spend on additional expansion? Capital expenditure is about 7 lakh crores, and capital asset accrual purchases. This is the major purchase will be in the defense. Is about 3 lakh crores. So totally 10 lakh crores they want to spend on capital expansion. So roughly 49 lakh crores, 50 lakh crores. If you see what is the deficit, our revenue is going to be 39 lakh crores. So the 11 lakh crores will be the borrowings. So we will be kadan vaangitha selavu. This is called a deficit budget. That is why we call it as a deficit budget. So deficit budget na what do we mean? Is the deficit out of the revenue that I expect and the revenue that expenditure I am going to make. The difference, the gap. How do I fill the gap? The gap will be filled in different forms. One is the loans from World Bank and other agencies for long-term capital. Mostly on the 10 lakh crores, mostly it will be from long-term loans. They won't be drawing the taxes to pay for this. The taxes will be used for various yearly expenditure. They give to the state government, GST share is given, so many other things are given. The capital expenditure is predominantly done. The capital expenditure will involve roads mainly. 25,000 kilometers they want to lay. On an average in India, 36 kilometers of road is laid on a daily basis. That is the statistics as per the 2020-21 statistics. So imagine on 365 days, they work for 300 days. 300 multiplied by 36 will be the number of kilometers of road that would be laid. That is for the highways. Then they have state highways. For that also money is like that. So all those things will be spent from the capital expenditure. The capital assets will be the creation, buildings, including the parliament building is a capital expenditure. Like that they will be spending on various expansion, permanent structures, dams, power projects, all those things. So about 10 lakhs. For all these things they get loans either from the World Bank or the Asian Bank or the BRICS, all those things, or from issuing bonds to the public, 7-year bonds, 10-year bonds, like that. All those bonds many people subscribe. So that is the money from which the deficit will be met. So it's like if you consider India as a family, this is what they want to spend. I just want to give a perspective. We can't. People like you should. It's better for you to understand the budget making. That's why I do that. So the deficit is about, expected deficit is about 6.4%. They would, what I mean is the deficit is the deficit we discussed. They would like to bring it to 4.5% in 2025-26. The one thing is, recently all of us knew the Air India being taken over by Tatas. Government got about 21,000 crores out of that. So they had a plan of 78,000 crores to be received in the form of disinvestment. They have downsized it to 65,000 crores. The major disinvestment that is likely to happen this year is the LIC. No, LIC 5% only. Oh. LIC disinvestment is not total. There is a misconception that LIC is getting privatized. Out of the 100% holding held by the government, they are going to offload only 5%. That too for a phenomenal 25,000 crore they are going to muster. See the strength of LIC. The strength of LIC is realized, rather felt only now. Otherwise we were only looking at LIC as a LIC. LIC has brought out many of the banks out of red. Yeah. IDBI Bank is a classic example. Yes, sir. So it's the pride of our country. We can say that by liquidating 5%, heavens are not going to fall, like what people think. They are unlocking the potential. That's it. So it's like a dam. They are going to open up the dam sluices a little bit for some water to flow and people to benefit, and that money is going to come in for capital expenditure. This is one form of filling up the deficit. Another 65,000 crore they are downsized. Next major disinvestment is going to be the Bharat Petroleum. And many other smaller companies, public sector also, are going to be not privatized. The government is holding 100%. They will hold 51%. 49% will be offloaded to the public. Investing public will invest. This is the perspective. We are all in CIA, so you should know how government also think like a private sector only. No. So the focus on this year's budget is mainly on PM Gati Shakti, that is fast-paced development. They have taken 7 areas of focus. One is transport, road, waterways, then energy, information technology, and majority of food processing and agri-based industries. So these are all the major focus. You can go through this at leisure about these things. Because of the time, I am going through a little fast. Now, before going into the MSME, I would like to tell you about one bold development that this government has taken: digital assets taxation, virtual digital asset. All of us know about hearing about the crypto. You can read this later. I would like to tell you why the government would have thought on this. Presently, India has about 17 unorganized private digital asset transactional exchanges. All these exchanges put together, all private. All these exchanges put together, the daily transaction is a mind-blogging $40 billion transaction happens daily. $1 billion, not rupee. Multiply that by 75 conservatively. Then you will miss your calculation. Now government has seen that so much money, and that crypto has not come from the heavens. If you want to buy one crypto, any idea how much you have to pay?
Depends on which crypto we are buying.
Average rate is $50. Multiply it by 70 or 80,
4,000 rupees.
40,000 rupees. If you invest 40,000 rupees, you will get one crypto. $40 billion worth crypto is in the circulation. Whose money it is? It is money of all the Indians and Indians living elsewhere. Goes unnoticed, goes untaxed. Few years back, security transaction tax was brought in to tax the transactions on trading stock exchange. Similar thing is being done. This is an exchange, but this exchange is not controlled by SEBI. This is not controlled by NSE or BSE. BSE and NSE, the super boss is SEBI. Here there is no control. People are investing, many are losing, few are making money. So somebody is becoming very rich. That is one aspect. This is not for taxing alone. The government wants to do that. To track. Why is it to be tracked? There is no exchange. There is no national currency. This currency doesn't have a nationality. The currency is not approved by any central bank of any government. Right? Pardon?
Elsewhere in the world.
Nowhere in the world. Nowhere it is done so far. India is taking the first step to bring in Indian cryptocurrency by RBI. If that comes, then India will see a different pedestal. So we don't look into all these things. We only superficially think of some budget about how much vegetable is going to increase, how much petrol. It's not like that. We have to think little differently. So this government, I feel, has thought about it very well, and they are expecting. I don't want to go detail into that. It is going to be tracked by mechanism in income tax. All transactions happening in a day, buying and selling. Any person doing the transaction, the exchange has to deduct 1% on the transaction value as income tax. And on the profit, when you have demat statement, you would know there is a selling and the original buying, then short-term gains, long-term gains, all that. It is taxed at 15% in India, long-term not taxed. They are going to tax the profits at 30%. The government, in a rough estimate, will get about 10 to 12,000 crores as tax alone from this one transaction. Imagine 1% transaction, how much money it's going to bring in. So this is the reason it is being taxed. It is a very bold step. Unfortunately, media is not talking about it. People like us who know what danger it brings in, we are all very happy that it is being tracked. What is the main flip side into that? Advantageous flip side is, when there is no exchange, there is no monitoring. SEBI monitors moment there is a board meeting over. I sat on a board meeting last Friday. Once the board meeting is over for listed company, stock prices will change. SEBI will monitor. They will step in. Here, nothing happens. Nothing is monitored. The problem is, sitting in Madurai, I can make a crypto payment to a fellow in America. To buy a property in India, I can make a payment in cryptocurrency in America. No foreign exchange control, no tracking. Similarly, to do some unwanted activity in India, I can engage a person from outside, engage a person here, pay to somebody outside. I don't want to term the transactions. I don't want to term the activities. India is facing through lot of unwanted problems. I leave it to your imagination what kind of problems they are. All those things can be settled elsewhere, including import of arms, importing anti-nationals, doing anti-national activities, so many things, anti-money laundering, everything can be done. Who will track it? That is the biggest danger. That is why India is thinking in terms of bringing in an Indian cryptocurrency. The moment you do that, anyone wants to do anything other than Indian cryptocurrency will be treated differently. And the Indian cryptocurrency transactions will get confined to India or Indians registering in that particular currency. So this is the biggest, no country has thought like this, we have thought about it. Now others are trying to discuss that. So it's a very good step, that's why I want to spend 2 minutes on that. Now I will go straight into your subject. These are all the focus areas of the government: infrastructure and manufacturing sector. Gati means fast. How to go with fast and furious, you can say, if you want to bring in some actors, English actors. Now, focus is going to be on housing, urban planning and real estate sector. Why I am covering these things? 48,000 crores is the planned for PM Awas Yojana. If you go into the villages, how many of you know, for 2 lakhs, they build a house. 1.7 lakhs is given by the government. Unfortunately, the local panchayat, they are corrupt, they take at least 30,000 out of it. Otherwise, the money comes into the bank account. The fellows say, you give it to me privately, then only I will pass this. Because, see, you should empower the local, but the local empowered people should be honest. Honesty is missing. But 2 lakh, I have seen in some of the villages, 40-50 people are now owning houses. Just 15 by 15. At least I have one
shelter.
Kitchen, a shelter and tapped water. What else I want? Imagine, that is the palace for them. Number 2, 48,000 crores spending. It is not that one mason and one contractor is involved. If you build a house, minimum 50 different things are required to build a house, including hinges. It is all manufactured by 50 sets of people. In each sector, there will be 100 people. And many of these things are under the MSME category. So impact can be felt only by relating to what is the focus area. In that case, there is going to be a definite impact on because of housing. And today that Mr. Parikh, HDFC chairman, has said, though prices may go up, housing will see a boom. If he says that, he means it. Because he is a veteran and he has seen lifetime on housing. Then this is going to benefit rural and urban areas. Then modern, they are going to change the building rules also in order to facilitate for faster construction. The subject is hard. Now, how many of you know the changed definition of MSME in this hall?
Medium, small,
manufacturing enterprise.
No, the terms of the definition of MSME you see here.
Yeah, because persist of
Now, what you called as a large sector is now a medium sector.
Correct.
With investment up to 50 crores on plant and machinery alone, not building.
Correct.
It is a major initiative. I can tell you because as a chartered accountant, I see my clients getting benefited. And turnover up to 250 crores. In this call, most of you would be in the category. Yes. Maximum 250 crores. You are still a medium. That means you have interest concession, you have subsidies and so many other benefits. So this is the latest. And biggest advantage is service sector is also eligible to register under MSME. You can register. Anybody can register. MSME. In fact, we are registering. Even chartered accountants can register.
traders also included.
Service. Even a person running a beauty parlor can register. Leave alone traders. Traders are eligible. Manufacturers are eligible. Builders are eligible. Real estate brokers are eligible. Everybody is eligible. And you will get that assistance according to the category. The category also I have given a small list. You can go through that later. So my talk is not to talk about budget alone and its impact. I may say a few things and walk away. But it is better for you to understand the fuller perspective. So up to 250 crores turnover, with an investment in the plant and machinery of 50 crores, they are still under the
MSME.
and you can migrate seamlessly between these three. That advantage is also there. And biggest advantage is you register in the TREDS portal. Whatever payments are due for the MSME, if it doesn't come in 90 days, you can take action against the person who is not paying it. And if you have registered your bills in that portal, then you are eligible for factoring finance up to 90% at a concessional rate. And the person to whom you have supplied has to pay it to that factory. So what happens? Number one, you will be tempted to go for accounted transaction. Number two, your money will come in time. That will enable you to rotate your money faster. India, we have about 5.54 lakh micros, 2.39 lakh small, and because of the definition, now 32,000 people have come into the medium from large. This is as per the government's November 2021 statistics, and we have 57,67,000 MSMEs in India. So MSME is the backbone of India. Build small, think big. Because medium itself is 250 crores. It's a very good. And what are all the schemes available for MSME I have given.
Yes, sir.
You can go through that at your leisure. This is not to the subject, but still I thought I should give value to what I do instead of just saying this is in the budget. Then startups initiative in MSME is commendable. This is all given in this budget. 6,000 crores they are going to allocate for MSME this year, and each year they will be allotting 6,000 crores. Then MSMEs will be, they can register in one portal and they will get the services of NCS and ASIM seamlessly. Then you have the other angel investors and others also can be approached to the, even if you are an MSME, they are going to develop a portal where it is going to be only exclusively for funding of MSME sector. Then major focus is given in agriculture sector on the agricultural three farm laws could not be implemented, but whatever they wanted to do, they are bringing in here. They are going to have drone-based survey and helping the farmers on with the satellite developed data to say you do this, you farm, do this farming like that. They are going to do. Lot of initiatives have come for agricultural sector. Then major push has been given to EV sector. EV sector, MSMEs will be the best beneficiary because the batteries, new batteries and charging of batteries. Charging of batteries is going to be a biggest business. If you have resources to 1 crore, entire Madurai, you can have tie up with the petrol bunk, have the charging station, they will give you the place you can do. BPCL is coming with that program. Hindustan Petroleum is also coming with that program. They are going to try Madurai, Trichy, Chennai right now. And they are not going to do it themselves. Whoever is interested, you can put the charging station. They are not going to allocate the, like petrol bunk, it's all managed by private company, private enterprise. The location is with the BP. Similarly, they are going to develop. It is going to be a medium or a small sector only. EVs, interested people, you do some research and understand, and you can jump into this in a big way. EV. Then education, lot of initiatives have been given. They are going to have a portal, each subject, one module, and one city, one channel. Like that, they are going to bring in lot of reforms on education. The Education Ministry is in the process of finalizing the new education policy. Once that is approved, these initiatives are expected to. So even now, lot of material is available in the mobile for the children. More than the children, parents have to understand that, because children do, they get attracted towards games and other things. Parents, you go into the sites, you know what are the lessons available. It's all downloadable PDF. Easily, instead of buying the books, you can save it in your laptop or in your pad and study that. In fact, even for elders, that becomes a good education. Then there is going to be digital rupees to be rolled out. That's what I said. If it comes, means India will be the front runner in that. Then financial assistance, 1 lakh crore financial assistance is planned for 2022-23 for infrastructure development. And once an infrastructure development happens, it is going to have a ripple effect on local businesses. For example, when they opened up the National Highway Act to lay roads in short distances, 60 kilometers, one contractor. Like that. The momentum picked up. Instead of giving for Madurai, Trichy 1%, they said break it into on the build, operate, own, transfer mode. So the tolls are based only for that. We feel that we are paying toll. We are paying those fellows who have invested in the road. They have to build the bridges, they have to construct the road, maintain the roads, and make money out of it to take back the investment. They are given a 30-year lease. That is how it works. So every 60 kilometers, that's why you see a big board of a different company. Once the roads are being made, where do they buy the basic materials required? Locally. Locally means within the state or within a particular jurisdiction. They are not going to buy cement from Assam and bring it here. They are going to from local. They are going to buy steel from here. They are going to hire the labor from here. So it develops the local employment. So that is why any large infrastructure development, only when the governments take the initiative, the development can be seen. Supposing I am saying this hall, assume this to be the industrial estate. You give the land at say very concessional price. Ask the business people to come and set up the business. How many of them will do in 1 year? It will take minimum of 3 years, even to build a 5,000 square feet shed, get all the approvals. If you want to set up business, a fact manufacturing setup in Tamil Nadu or anywhere, you have to comply with 37 laws minimum. 37 சட்டங்கள் இருக்கு. If you have to surmount all that, each law has its own conditions. You have to satisfy that. You have to satisfy the people. Then only you will get. A client of mine who wanted to set up a chemical factory near Sattur, 3 years he is yet to lay even a brick. Every department puts hurdles. So once you build and give it to them, government can push this thing faster. This government is looking only on that. Set it up and give it. How the tidal park became a big success in Chennai. Had they asked the private sector to build that 20-story building, how much time it should have taken? They built it, invited the companies to take that on rent. If you want to buy, you buy, otherwise take it on rent. Within 3 years, that entire OMR became a New York road. So that push has to be given only by the government. So this government, earlier regime it started. They are continuing the same. Once one government does something and the next government tastes revenue from that or tastes success, they won't spoil it. So the successive government laid the road. This started, the National Highways Authority Act was amended when Mr. Gadkari was the road transport minister in the Vajpayee government. He amended the law in temple or a mosque or a church, nothing doing. Everything will be demolished. That is how they could acquire the land. Right? That is the capital expenditure. The 2,25,000 crores, are they going to give it to the contractors? No. Acquisition. This is going to put money into the pocket of those fellows who are owning land. When Natham Road was developed, you would have experienced, in my experience, more than 10 of my clients, they became crorepathies because of the road acquisition. Then are they going to keep the money with them? Either they will put it in deposit or business. It multiplies. So everything has an impact. So the impact on MSME is one, impact on the national economy is the next thing. Whether if it has an impact on the MSME, obviously it is going to have an impact on the national economy. Any national project will have an impact to various people, large scale, small scale, medium, everybody. In that fashion, this 25,000 kilometers is going to be a big impact. That is why they are allocating, to not develop the state highways also, they are going to give 1 lakh crore. So these are all the initiatives. Now banking sector reform is going on. Post office are all going to be made into banks, small banks. Because post office otherwise it has lost its relevance. How many of us have gone and put a cover in a post box? Maybe 10-15 years we have not done after the courier. But speed post we use because speed post is the dependable courier even today. You can track it. I personally, I don't advise my people to anything outside the state. I ask them to go only for speed post. Within the state, okay. So they are going to convert the expertise and the manpower available with that because they are having post office savings bank, post office fixed deposit. So many schemes are there. They want to rejig that, bring all the banks into core banking and make it a mini bank. It will definitely serve rural pockets because post office is there in every village. Every village will have a bank. That means the villager will have an access to a bank. That is the idea. So that is a major initiative. 75 digital banks in 75 selected districts, with possibly some districts in Tamil Nadu also may come into that. And all the post offices are going to be fitted with ATMs. That is the biggest advantage. Then healthcare, not major push is given, only they are going to make it more digitized. Money is going to be spent because on the COVID itself, lot of things have been spent and we can all pat our back because all private sector enterprises have contributed very heavily, at least in the second wave, towards oxygen generator plants and so many other, giving beds, giving blankets like that. Each one according to their size of the industry they have spent. 90% of the CSR spending of last year has gone only to COVID related. That means government, without even the government, people have volunteered to spend in crores. So healthcare, they are going to make it more approachable to generate information and to have digital. Somebody is a doctor here, you are a doctor. So you will all find it easy. You can give consultation through this thing to far-reaching areas. I am involved in Aravind, I know how beneficial it is. Then defense sector, they are giving a major push for Make in India and a lot of money is going to be spent on that. 25,000 crores has been earmarked for defense. Then climate change and carbon footprint they want to bring down. India stands in the top 10 of the world on carbon footprint. They want to bring down. So money is 19,500 crores is allotted for that. Then automobile sector is going to be given a big push, especially on EVs and green energy initiatives are being given a push on that. Then banking I already covered. Then housing and real estate sector I have covered. It's a positive. Lot of this is an analysis done by few of my friends. Each sector, whether it is positive or negative, most of the sectors they say it is a positive initiative. On the MSME sector, I would like to wind up by saying that guaranteed credit lending scheme has been extended for 1 more year. You can, whoever is having a loan up to 25 crores and a turnover of 100 crores, they will be having bank loan either in the form of a term loan or a overdraft. They can approach the bank. The earlier scheme brought in June 20 was they can approach the bank without any additional security, without any immediate repayment of 1 year holiday, they were given 20% of the outstanding amount extra. Then in April 21, another 10% was given. Now they have extended the scheme by one more year. One more 10% extra credit will be given for tiding over the financial needs. The advantage of this is you don't have to repay that principal amount for the next 1 year. From the month of availing the loan, you have 12 months time to repay the principal amount. Interest only you service every month. So many of my clients have got benefited out of it. The biggest advantage is no collateral security is required, and if you don't repay due to any reason, you may get affected in other accounts. You may become an NPA, but at least this money, mark my word, this money lent on this scheme, government guaranteed emergency credit line, this money will be given back to the bank by government. You may become NPA, they will proceed with you on NPA. That is a different issue. Don't think that if by not paying you are escaping. The bank will not be deprived of the funds. The bank's credit will get affected. Right? The banks will not be affected. Government is allotting the money for that. If the person fails to repay, the government will reimburse that. The bank will proceed with the borrower on recovery. Once they recover, they will give it back to the government. But the bank is not short of funds. That is the biggest advantage. That is why all banks are calling over the phone and giving it just by getting a DPN. Because no financial projections are required, no balance sheet is required. Whatever is the outstanding, you take 20% with the documentation. Then they give another 10. Now they are going to give another. That means 40%. If I have 1 crore, I am easily getting 40 lakhs without additional any other security, and I have 1 year time to repay. So if anybody is having credit, this thing that is available only for existing customers, not for new customers. So that is one biggest initiative. MSME will be benefited. So these are all the things I wanted to share. We have few more slides, but I don't want to go into that again, excepting to cover a few things in the income tax in just 5 minutes. Can I take 5 minutes?
Yes.
Because I have not gone into that. There is no change in the income tax rates. Lot of restructuring has been done in trusts and societies. CAE also will be one of the persons have to look at it. In the amended provisions, you have to look at it. That is one. And the virtual digital asset transaction, they have taxed. That I have already covered. One more important thing is, though doctor is here, I would like to share the thinking of the government. Medical Council of India passed a law in, I believe in 2009 or something, that the medical companies are prohibited from, pharma companies are prohibited from giving freebies to the doctors. The pharma companies changed their approach. I don't want to go into that because I have more than 100 doctors with me. They changed their approach, and the doctors were getting what is their due. Now what they have done, they have made 2 amendments. Number 1, if you are making any such payment more than 30,000 rupees in any head, whether it is sales promotion or traveling expenses or whatever, it is not for pharma companies alone, for any company, but the motivation comes from pharma company. Then if you are not deducting income tax at 10% on the payment, the expense cannot be claimed. And they have introduced a section 194R for that, to say that so and so is the person for whom I have made the payment, and they will deduct 10%. So on the one side, the person receiving the money will have to necessarily show it, and the company will have to necessarily show it as a expense. Otherwise it will not be allowed. It's a major change. Few doctors, I can say with a lot of happiness that most of my doctors don't come into that at all, simply because they followed the procedure a few years back. The pharma companies, they give it as a referral fee or investigation fee. They pay that 10% they deduct, and these people offer. Those who don't, all big doctors whose normal income is above 1 crore. So they don't want to get into this rut. Smaller people have to now be careful, and this is not the 30,000 is not one time over a period of 1 year. So they may keep on adding. Moment it crosses 30, and the entire 30,000 they would have deducted tax. Suddenly it will come into the 26 AS. Then only the doctors will realize. Those doctors have to necessarily take advice from their auditors, and not only doctors, anybody who is in the habit of getting these kind of perks in a different form, right word, they have to be careful. And another major change is on the property registration. We have market value we know, guideline value we know. Most of the properties we register at the guideline value and pay the stamp duty. If the market value is lesser than the guideline value, you pay capital gains on the market value. Now they have brought in one more thing. Any property sale more than 50 lakhs, the buyer has to deduct 1% tax and pay to the government. The seller can take the credit. In this there was a gap. Now they have said even in the 50 lakhs, it is not the consideration that should be considered. Whichever is higher, the market guideline value or the consideration. Whichever is higher, you have to 1% you have to deduct. So that the mistake was there. Now they have brought in. On the virtual asset also 30%, 10% tax will be deducted on your profits and the transactional profits. That new section 194 has been brought in for this. These are all the major tax changes which might have impact on few transactions as individuals also. So I would like to place on record my appreciation to all of you for patiently listening to me, and thank those who are watching through the virtual mode, and for the opportunity given to me. More such interactions we would have on different topics of interest, so that because of you I will get enriched.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So we'll have the Q&A.
Yeah.
You can ask your question.
Sure, okay, sir. Okay. Any questions, guys?
Sir, is there any changes in HUF, sir?
No.
There is no change.
No change.
You don't have any different tax scheme for HUF?
No,
The
it's
older
HUF and individuals, the taxation is the same. They are up to 2.5 lakhs, there is no tax. Then 2.5 to 5 lakhs, 5%. Then 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, 20%. Above 10 lakhs, 30%. No change.
So there are two schemes, the older scheme and the new scheme.
That is on the by individuals.
But
The
not
newer
for-
scheme has not taken.
For the HUF.
It was not a hit. Where you don't get the deductions.
Deductions.
80C, 80D, those deductions will not be there. But it has not been too successful. Because for very high income, it may be high, next year it will be low. Then I should switch between that. If they do that, possibly it may be a success.
The electric vehicles, any clarity on the government to electric charging stations or exchanging of batteries?
There are two things they are thinking of. Charging station is going to be, there are three things. One is charging station, number one is battery, number three is rent a battery. That is also coming. You leave it here, the same brand is there, means you can take the battery like that. With a chip based tracking they are going to do that.
Government is going to propose all those three things.
In another 5 years, all of us will be having EV. You can take it from me. Atmosphere will be better.
So I have a few questions, sir. So solar panels. So now today, even today's paper, I'm sure yesterday you could have also read about it. 25 years is the lifespan of a solar panel. So now the biggest challenge is we have started way back in 2001, 2002. So after 25 years, how they are going to recycle and scrap it is going to be a big challenge, and so they are finding it very hard to take up because when coming on to EV, as you said, 5 years down the line, likewise solar energy.
Even today, that problem is there on any electronic waste. Electronic waste, right from this to this to this to the speaker, the computers, all are electronic waste. No country has evolved a system to recycle that. It is all dumped. I don't know, once they break that, what kind of an atmospheric effect it is going to have, nobody wants to, because everything is carbon based. all silicon based. So it has to go back. They have done enormously on plastic, but still plastic consumption has not come down. So here it's a big challenge. At least in solar, it is purely that that cells are all silicon based. Possibly they can powder it and re-energize that. In this, I would like to add one great initiative this government from the center has taken. Now, green energy law is going to be mandatory from 2026. No local authority, whether it is a panchayat or a municipality or a corporation, can dispose of the waste in a dumping yard from 2026. It has to be a live recycling, has to happen. In order to do the live recycling, they have to clear the existing dump. You have a dump in Avaniyapuram. If you cross that, you will feel the stench. Similarly, in every city it is there. Now they are giving the government central funding to engage, bid and take companies to biomine the entire waste. That's in a big way. Madurai started way back during the UPA regime. It failed due to various other reasons. Biomine the entire waste into three parts. One is recyclable plastics, metals and refuse derived fuel. This RDF is a fuel by itself. They have amended the green law in such a way that all power manufacturing companies, coal power, have to use 20% of their fuel, this RDF. Why? Because this RDF generated from these biomined site, where will they dump it? Give it back. It's a fuel. It's as efficient as coal. So the coal consumption will come down. This recycled fuel will get utilized. And this is going to be mandatory. I am personally involved with few such projects. That's why I know it is the biggest initiative for which state governments have been given lot of funds. They have to use it properly and see that this. And from 2026, it's going to be live recycling. Daily in Madurai, do you know how much of dump is happening? Any idea? 380 tons of waste being dumped in Avaniyapuram. In Chennai, 6,000 tons. They have completed the Pallikarani 25 acres. Now they are doing in Kodungayur. And now they are going to clean up the Pallikarani. So that this will be dumping used for dumping for the next fresh dumping, so that the trummels will start working continuously. They will keep on disposing of then and there. So this is a big green initiative that's happening. That will possibly make the cinematographers unhappy because many fight scenes cannot be taken there. Other than that, the city will be clean. So it's a great initiative.
And tidal parks, that one built and rent.
Yeah.
So, but will it be viable, sir? Because already rental will get 3% or 2% average return.
Here, this
Tidal park.
On the ring road, there is a tidal park.
Yes, sir.
Majorly, two companies have bought the properties. HCL and Honeywell. All the rest are all in rented place. They have been given the shell. They have built it or internal, this thing they have done of their own. That for the shell they charge a rent. Government is not worried about the profit out of that. They want to push the people to go there. So unless you build and give, nobody is, if you are asking them to build that 2 lakh square feet, which private entrepreneur will do? That is the problem. The states, most of the sheds are vacant. Even in Kapalur, which is one of the oldest industrial estate. It's because of this, because of the various approvals you have to get. No, give or get everything done under one roof or one window and give it. Then the entrepreneur will be interested to do. Otherwise, he has to run around. I am saying, one fellow is my client, he is having a successful factory in Hosur. He has 3 factories in Kerala. One factory is not able to set up in Satur, backward area. Very sorry state. Because the local people are not sensitized. They don't look at it as growth. They look at it as a money-making exercise. That is the unfortunate thing. We have to change. That's not happening.
And one last question on textiles, sir, because we are the 80%. Strongest
Yeah.
South Tamil
And
Nadu.
Tamil Nadu is the highest.
Yes, sir. So what is it in the budget?
Nothing in the budget.
Non-textile park I think is coming up.
That is fine, but again, unless they build and ask them to fit your machines and start doing, nobody will come.
And the
What
PLL
happened to that park in near Alanganam?
Yeah.
Vadipatti? That will happen. That is the problem.
So some kind of, but when I go into that, will be like a politics. So I should.
No, I don't want to vouch for anything, any initiative from the state government, because both the governments have the same attitude.
Yes, sir.
I want to stop with that.
Because we are the kingdom of textile, so but sadly,
Unfortunately,
so we didn't have.
what even possibly the leaders think doesn't get percolated, and they don't follow it up to see whether it is percolated. And the bureaucrats also, they don't want to involve much, because they may be charge sheeted later, they may be questioned. Unless you give them a free, they are all bureaucrats. Unfortunately, they are all fighting with one hand. Like the IPK went to Ceylon, Sri Lanka, to fight the Sri Lankan tigers, right? Tamil tigers. That Kalkat, Major Kalkat said this word. It is a very golden word. We are fighting here with one hand tied at the back. Bureaucrats, the relief measures, adukkallam bureaucrats will go hammer and tongue to finish. But any initiative, they will be in the back foot. Because they know that somebody will question me.